We detest Band A. There were times in the past that we repeatedly visited the then chairman, and he assured us that they were going to tar one of the roads in the neighborhood. They brought their surveyors, did everything. We followed up persistently to ensure that they fulfilled the promise by tarring the Oremeji Street road, but it never materialized. It never happened. My name is Adelowo Adesina. I'm a priest in the Anglican Church. I'm Venerable Adelowo Adesina. I'm a non-stipendiary priest in the service of Lagos West Diocese of the Anglican Church. That's basically who I am. I also run a consulting firm called Sages and Scribes Consultants. I'm the managing consultant of that firm. I live in this neighborhood, Oremeji Street in Iju-Ishaga Tioluwani CDA, and I'm the chairman of the CDA. Well, there are quite a handful of them. Number one, government presence is not felt as much as we would have loved to have them. Understandable, government cannot be everywhere at the same time, but we will have loved that we have good drainage, good roads, street lights, maybe a community health center, such things that will enhance the welfare of the people who live in this neighborhood. That said, on our own, there's a lot we have been doing. For example, we in the CDA more or less bought the transformer. We had at a point changed the wires supplying light in virtually to all the houses in the neighborhood. Periodically, we grade our road, we buy rubbles, grade our road to ensure that they are motorable and decent enough. We also, from time to time, clear the drains. Of course, we are in charge of our security. We have gates at 3 strategic points of the estate, which we pay security agents to man, and then we also have different security patrols to do it. We liaise with the police authorities so that from time to time they can come to our neighborhood to ensure the safety and the security of the neighborhood. These are some of the efforts we've done. Okay, we also have, as you mentioned earlier on, the community health, free health service. We have about 5 medical doctors in the neighborhood, and there's a hospital. So when we have our health outreaches, we have about 5 medical doctors and not less than 12 nurses. They take the vitals of people who visit, and we provide them with free medication as well. They do the regular test for blood pressure, diabetes, the basic checks, and then supply the medication. Where we have also had to refer patients to hospitals, and we pay for their health care. Not really. There were times in the past that we repeatedly visited the then chairman, and he assured us that they were going to tar one of the roads in the neighborhood. They brought their surveyors, did everything. We followed up persistently to ensure that they fulfilled the promise by tarring the Oremeji Street road, but it never materialized. It never happened. In fairness to the local government, the different palliatives given by government, we benefited. Wow. We actually had a few people that we sent their names, and it can be verified, it can be audited, that those who are in need or those who we feel can benefit from the palliative, got the palliative in terms of food, rice, beans, gari, but that's not sustainable. I mean, the last one we had was about 4 5 months ago, 6 months ago, 6 months ago. I mean, what has the people been eating? So we when we are talking of the welfare of the people, we need to begin to look at how we can institutionalize it. One, if we have a primary health center in the neighborhood, uh, the healthcare officers in that can do a lot of preventive health, teaching on basic hygiene, water, uh, how to manage water and things like that. We can do a lot of preventive health. We can do a lot of palliative health care. But unfortunately, in this environment, we wait till things get to the curative level and then you start looking for tertiary institutions to refer them to. So there's a lot the government can do. One, if they provide us with a primary health center, if the sanitary inspectors go around the houses to ensure that people are not throwing their waste into the drains, so we can have free flow. And when we have free flow of water, then we can't have stagnant water, we can't have mosquitoes breeding, so we reduce the risk of malaria, we reduce the risk of waterborne diseases, we reduce the risk of cholera, which was ravaging Lagos at a point. So these are some of the things they can do. Well, more importantly, we will sincerely want them to do the road. We will sincerely want them to do the drains and the road. That will make the effect of government felt in this neighborhood. We do our best. We do our best. Before the raining season, we bought rubbles from broken blocks and things like that, and we spread it and graded the road. So they can come in and do much more than we do. I mean, we have our annual development levy. A number of houses, not every house, pay that, and that's what we do our capital project with. We've also cooperated a great deal with Ikeja Electrics. They will tell you that we ensure, before we all had meters, we ensure that people pay their electricity bills regularly. So we have good relationship with them. So when meters were being distributed, the prepaid meters, as at the moment, according to them, they say that we, in this neighborhood, there are over 80% prepaid meters. So when we have breakdowns or in power supply, we easily approach them and things like that. The other major thing, thank God, we are managing our security very well. The other area that government can come in is to support our security effort. I mean, so far, we thank God, there's not been any major security breakdown here because of the security architecture that we have put in place and that we monitor regularly and even review from time to time, so that not everybody knows the strategy we are using. That has been very effective, thank God. We've not had any major security breakdown, minor break-ins here and there, but we thank God. But we could do with the support of the local government and then maybe even the state government. In the CDA itself, there is no leadership issues. We run an open government. We are first and foremost neighbors, and at our meetings, and neighborliness is encouraged. We do not emphasize the tribal differences that as mar relationship in other community. We meet from a point of common interest, and when there's a common interest, there has to be understanding, and that has worked well for us. Yes, in the community, cases of tenant landlord has been referred to us. Fortunately, I'm a trained and licensed mediator. We've been able to, where we feel the need, because sometimes we don't want to be interlopers. where we feel the need to mediate, where it is reasonable to mediate, we will. But we are not busybodies. We don't. There have been cases referred to us, and we say, look, this is a third party matter. When you were taking your tenant, we were not involved. We do not know the terms of your agreement. It will therefore not be fair for us to. So if you are not satisfied, take your matter to it's a civil matter. Take it to the court, get your lawyer to handle it. But where the interest of the community is being jeopardized, there was a case of somebody bringing a trailer into the neighborhood and the slabs, the driving was broken. The community had to ensure that we insist in the interest of everybody in the community that the person who brought in the trailer do the repair and apologize to people who could not leave their homes for 2-3 days. So in any human gathering or social relationship are bound to be strained. But so far, we have been very lucky. We have managed things well. Maybe because our community is blessed with churches. You know, we have a big Catholic church here. We have, but some of the churches they have very high nuisance value. There are instances where the members will park in front of somebody's gate, and that has been referred to us, and we've handled it amicably. And where we need to apportion blame, we're firm in apportioning blame and sanctions. And where we need to commend, we give the commendation as appropriate. So it's a relatively peaceful environment. It's a relatively secured environment. It's a relatively safe environment. And that is because we put to the forefront the need for good neighborliness. We have individuals who are impossible by nature. They will not pay their development levy. They will not pay their security levy. And the irony of life, before you got here, one of them was the one who was complaining of things not working well. He was the one who just sent a message on our platform that we have electricity blackout, and he's wanting the executive to go and rectify it. Meanwhile, this person is not paying his dues. Well, he makes demand in an authoritative manner. He had problems with his tenant. It was his case that I actually referred to. That is a third party thing. You didn't bring us in when you are, and this individual will even collect security levies from his tenant and not remit to the CDA. Human beings will always be human beings. So, on the whole, our relationship is good. We have the odd people who are who they are, and we really can't do much about that. Well, like all people, we detest Band A. But what I say generally is that if you're going to, number one, I wish we had an experiment to know they promise us 20 hours of uninterrupted power supply. We should have enjoyed it for a couple of months before migrating us. There was no conversation, no discussion, no negotiation whatsoever. It was an imposition. That is not right. But where you impose, ensure that you deliver. I can say categorically that the power supply situation has improved in fairness, but we are not getting the 20 hours promised. When you provide service as promised, you have a service charter, you should deliver, and then people will pay. The challenge with this nation is, everything has gone up. And even with the going up, we're not getting it. Petrol has gone up. You will still have to go and queue for 3, 4, 5 hours to get it. That's where I have problem with. If you promise me 20 hours of electricity at a particular rate, let it be provided so I know what I'm paying for, and then I can regulate the use But this is an imposition. It is not fair. It is not just. It is not equitable that I'm not in a position, neither is anybody in a position to say, look, we're not getting service. You see, there should be penalty. If you have a contract to give me 20 hours and you are not giving me 20 hours, you should be compensating me. So head or tail, it is the consumer that are losing in this arrangement. And it's not fair, it's not just, it's not equitable.